I Will Dominate, and this is Thorin's channel. The guy who, if I keep on associating with him, will get me banned on Twitch eventually.
This content, especially if you want to stay focused like I am, locked in, as the grinders say online, cooking, as the kids say, or if you really want to eat, as women say, potentially obese women, I would guess, why not try Delicious Gamer Subs? 10% off everything on their website with the code Thorin, Thorin. Try strawberry lemonade if you'd like a new flavour recommendation. It's an interesting one to have. Sort of circling your proximity of drinks. I like to include it every now and then. Okay, we're doing some League of Legends Thorin versus Reddit. So you know this is going to be fucking amazing because that might be the most stupid esports sub in the history of esports. Actually, you know what? I'll take that back. That's hyperbole. That would easily be Overwatch. Competitive Overwatch would win that. Maybe even competitive Valorant could be second. But League of Legends would be third. It's the OG stupid subreddit. And by the way, before the people from StarCraft go, hey, we're absolute cretins though. Yeah, but there's about 10 of you. So that doesn't really count. I'm not even sure that counts. Listen, StarCraft, the game never died. But that's a motherfucking ghost town, homie. At least there's actually, you know, hundreds of thousands of people sometimes post on the League of Legends subreddit. But one thing we're going to get to, we'll get to it later, is they do this thing where, just from the headline, before they think, see how generous I am, I still can't get that egalitarianism out of my brain, where I imagine they think. They're not really. They're like a shit LLM, where what they do is they just mash together words and concepts to just try and give the appearance of intelligence. But when you look in their eyes, you don't really see the flicker of a soul, do you? You sort of see the black mirror of the abyss gazing back at you. So, hence, don't look in their eyes. Genji Arnold, top guy at Genji, best League of Legends team in the world, basically got mad at this post where on the stream, the English language stream for League of Legends, they just put on the stream, Chovy, more like Chalky. 2024 was a one-time thing. Chovy and Genji will collapse at MSI 2025. Now, first things first, we're going to address this before even Thorin versus Reddit, as if, actually, yeah, this is like just their opinion on the broadcast. Do you know why? Because what if someone tuned in after you started this segment and just saw that on the screen? The logic would be that is the topic that was decided by the broadcast, maybe even the people on your screen, that's their topic. And they wanted to frame it as Chovy, all he did is win MSI one time. By the way, do you know how long the fucking list of people who've only won MSI one time is? Spoiler, unless you're Faker or Xiaohu, who do you imagine's winning MSI all the time? Winning it one time is incredible. That's already amazing in a fucking career, isn't it? I guess Mako fucking blows for his whole career, only won it one time. Showmaker, did Showmaker even win it once? No, never won it once. Zero. Give me a fucking break. Deft, already got the one, mate. They will collapse, right? Their whole team will collapse and choke at this tournament. By the way that's put on the screen, I don't care if the person on camera, as we're then told, says, this is going to be sort of like a hot take type segment where we react to, like, you know, crazy things the community says. Then put that on the fucking screen. Then on the screen, put before the word Chovy, hot take, fucking colon, and then have Chovy, more like Chalky. Then you'll know, this isn't what their broadcast thinks, or the English language broadcast would say. And by the way, don't worry, other language broadcasts are fucking ridiculous. Should have some of the shite they say on the fucking Korean one if you have someone doing that. I hope it goes out saying what Spanish and French broadcasts are like. A fucking nightmare. But here's another one for you. Maybe just put like community overreaction ? And quotes Chovy, more like Chalky. Then you'll make it clear the analysts are just addressing someone else's sentiment, not theirs. This looks like you're simultaneously getting away with saying something fucking edgy about someone not from your region, since everyone on that broadcast, by the way, literally is from the West. As far as I know, there's no one on that broadcast who is Korean. I mean, maybe for the interviews, they have someone like Jasun or something. So, yeah, guess what? When you put things up on the screen like that, people might associate them with you. So Genji Arnold, unsurprisingly, his team's coming in, by the way, undefeated. They're the reigning champions of the tournament. They've got Chovy, best player in the world, maybe best player ever, in his fucking pomp, absolutely dominating League of Legends. And then you have to come and look on the stream and see that shit. is being said to the English language. Yeah, you know what? I'm with Arnold on this one. If it's someone's opinion, put whose opinion it is. If it isn't, then we're going to assume it's the broadcast's opinion. And if it isn't the broadcast's opinion, just fucking say so. Don't have some secret law. Not the French girl who talks all that great shit on the stream. Don't have some secret law behind why you're doing things why you're misleading me with what you're putting on the screen, and I'm supposed to know what you actually meant by that. Like, listen, you're not my fucking girlfriend. Straight fire reference. By the way, that's just to anyone's girlfriend, isn't it? So he puts this up. Mega upvoted post. So let's see what the top comments are. So 1,652. This is some weak sauce from Arnold. Socks explicitly states this is a segment about overreactions. Then just put overreactions on the screen. You've made my own point and Arnold's point for us, you fucking dunce. No. Instead, everyone who sees that image there, millions could tune in after that, has to just know that Shock said something at 47:08. So if they tune in at 47, I don't know, 20, then shout a lock. They're just a moron for actually thinking what's on the screen is what they're thinking. Why do we always have to defend the stupidest shit ever? Oh, wait, because you have a Griffin flare, so presumably you don't like fucking Gen G. Just say it already, you twat. Are we really getting worked up over intentionally hot takes for bits? They didn't explicitly brand it. They said in voice on the screen that that's what it was. They didn't put on the screen written that it was explicitly. You are literally being, in fact, just dishonest. You're just being dishonest. Oh, and people on Reddit are getting worked up over intentional hot takes. You mean where you all get triggered by my entire career, you fucking morons? Unbelievable, innit? Oh, and by the way, that makes him petty. To not think that should just be on screen. Brilliant. And then because people on the broadcast said these nice things, that makes it fine to just not put on the screen what you explicitly mean. And then Reddit. Think of what I have gone through since February this year. Get ready. Reddit, you're missing the point. He wants to know the person who did that text on the graphic so that you can spam hate comments and overreact. Yeah, that's absolutely what they want. They want to get him. They want to get him, everyone. Oh, you mean like you did when you demanded I give you the victims of Reckless and who gave those stories to me? Oh, you didn't just want to know, did you? You wanted to go and harass them to make their lives worse. They already have been essentially bullied by Reckless and you wanted more to happen to them. So your behaviour is that. But no one else is allowed to just know, by the way, CEO of an org that's paid a fucking millions of dollars in franchise fees to be in the LCK, which is part of Riot, and then turns on an English language broadcast to see how his world #1 team is being treated. Yeah, what a twat for having an opinion and daring to fucking voice it on, I don't know, Twitter. It's like you boycott the fucking tournament, is it, you moron? He has such a victim complex, it's crazy. Oh, here's a good one. Why is everyone treating Chovy like he's made of glass? This is the sob that defends Reckless for abusing people and Faker for actually sometimes just being bad at the game, yeah? And acts like if you say those things, you just did a 9/11 on their country. That's what we're really... Reddit is the most fucked place ever in the world. And by the way, I'm not going to do it on this one, but I'm going to start doing this thing where when they say some shit like that, I'm just going to actually open up their fucking username and scroll back a bit. I've got one coming later. And you'll see these are the fucking dickheads who do exactly this behaviour and then calling out also for updoots. Fucking mental, innit? I'm trying to see where this one is. I'm sure there was one where it was like... Maybe I can't find it. Basically, there was a comment that was like... The broadcast owes Gen G and Arnold nothing. It's like he literally paid millions of dollars in franchise fees. You know who they know nothing to? You fucking pleb. Watching for free as a millions of dollar tournament is put on with players paid millions of dollars in an arena that costs millions of dollars. And then you sit back and go, I think I'll just decide everything. Who are you to think you're owed something? Now, here's my opinion. So when Gen G played G2, this is the post-match thread. Let's get ready for some absolute nonsense from idiot EU fans. Caps has entered his Bjergsen era. Caps plus 4 wards. Right, so now Hans Sama, who just played fine in this, he's a ward. He's just a fucking ward, isn't he? Skumon carried game 1 against the best jungler ever and the #1 team in the world who's undefeated. Guess what? Sort of just a fucking ward. By the way, Ona didn't win a game in that second series, that BO3 against fucking Gen G. Just a ward, I guess. And also, we're now pretending Caps is peak Bjergsen with 4 wards. First of all, that was never Bjergsen internationally, dunce, so it doesn't even work. Secondly, you mean in LCS, it was never really 4 wards. It was usually maybe like 2 wards at a time, maybe 3 tops. And then also, Caps. Did you see how he played in the fucking plane? Are you out of your mind? And then secondly, did you not watch the finals of all the LEC this year? This is so shit, it's unbelievable. Caps is the most worshipped player in EU. It is crazy. He can never be bad, because since he's their god, just like Faker, if you say he's bad, then they refer to the past when he wasn't bad and act like you're talking about him being bad for seasons before. And then basically, the second he has a good game, he was always the best every second, and he probably was even just fucking around pretending to be bad for that one game. So fucking trash, innit? So trash. Let's see some EU fans complain about the starting time of MSI. Right, here's the reason why it's mental. The tournament is taking place... Wait there a second. Oh, no, you can. The tournament takes place in fucking North America, bro. You think they're going to schedule an event in North America so that it can work ideally for EU? Why the fuck would they? Have you never seen the viewership figures? The viewership's all in China plus Korea. You schedule every event, no matter where, for China and Korea if you actually want top viewership. And again, none of you pay any money for this broadcast. So you get no fucking say. And I think, are you ready? Norman Rockwell standing up for it. I don't think they should cater to you, a fucking nobody who pays nothing and is from a shitter region. I think they should cater to the fucking region with the most fans who might have the most financial impact on the fucking company and the success of the tournament. Shut the fuck up, you entitled bitch. We never get games at evening slots in Europe, ever. Well, you do. It's called LEC. You got your own fucking league, you idiot. You know, if it was up to me, there'd be no European League. So most tournaments would actually take place at bad time zones for you. Because the best countries are fucking Korea and China. I'd have most of the tournaments there. You would love that, wouldn't you? And by the way, if you're, I wouldn't watch them, good. Thank God. Please don't let the door hit you on the way out. And do not ever come and fucking darken this saloon again. Fuck off down the road, pal. Not even when the events are here. Because it's scheduled for China and Korea, you moron. The finals of all worlds since 2020. Compare the viewership. Why are you making no attempt to understand why for anyone else this time slot would make sense and acting for real, solipsistically, like you're not only the only person in the world, you're the only person that matters in the world? It's so much less hype to watch. No, it couldn't give a fuck less, mate. Couldn't give a fucking monkeys whether it's hype for you or not. I wish... Oh, we got a genie out now. So we're off through the fucking wardrobe into Narnia, making wishes with a genie. I'd wish for better things than that, you fucking moron. I wish we could at least get an MSI that is catered towards EU evening. Okay, great. Glad you came on the internet to let us know that. Cadril made a tier list, and if you know, every tier list or top 10 ever, people never, because they're poorly socialised autists, never just go, I can see why that's your list, but on my list it would be different. Here's how it would contrast. I'd give player X for reason Y. I'd give player Z for reason A, and I wouldn't have one of your... No, it's always like, you're wrong! You are wrong, and you are lying, and that is not the truth, and you are a fucking idiot, and if you don't have exactly my list, you just don't know anything about League, and I've lost all respect. Yeah, guess what? That says a lot more about you than any of the players that you are disputing or putting in place on your list. So 15 points. Guy, unironically, with noblesse, which is like a term they use all the time in Korea, by the way, and a T1 fucking flair, has the goal, and a fucking EU BDS flair, has the goal to go, seems like Shanks, by the way, potentially the best mid laner in the fucking LPL, champion of the LPL, by the way, is going to be the Creme of this year, right? Let's find out why Shanks, a totally different human being than Creme, who hasn't had a career at all like Creme's, hasn't ever failed like Creme before, is now, by the way, is Creme even a guy who's ever been a champion of the LPL? I don't think he has. Oh no, he obviously would have been in winter, because obviously that's when they got the first stand. But aside from that, he never ever was, in all those first times he choked. So let's look why a champion is going to be like Creme. Spoiler, it's just going to be because I haven't seen him play before. He plays mid lane. He's from the LPL. Like, that just means you're just going to be Creme. Everyone's going to be Creme. It was the first time I like that. It's just going to be. He's going to be the Creme of this year from the LPL side with all these LPL fan comments. Rated higher than Faker, going to MSI, EWC and Worlds, but never delivers. Right, he hasn't even played yet. He is better than Faker, but never delivers in the end. Worse than Faker. Right, so he's now going to be worse than Faker because Creme was in the past. Also, do you know how rarely Creme was ever actually rated better than Faker going into national tournaments? Like, that's such a disingenuous comment. Show me the fucking tier list. Say who said it. I notice he didn't, magically. Another year of some LPL, not the champion, you dickhead, some LPL team / players being rated a tad bit over TS. Notice they never get, when they get like G2 from EU gets rated as like, they could beat Top Korea. Like they could beat the 3rd seed and then the place below them. We don't ever go, wow, we're all fucking morons who are just full of shit. We're wrong again for like the 5th time in a row with G2. No, that never happens. Or you get the NA team where, my favourite thing about American fans is this. So the first half of last year, it was Team Liquid were the fucking ones that were going to get it done. Then magically when FlyQuest won, and FlyQuest did that run, it was always FlyQuest. So you just get, basically you send 2 or 3 teams, and then just wait until one of them succeeds, then draw a fucking target around that and go bullseye. Nailed it. Knew they'd be fucking good. But the LPL has to send their teams blind, and if they ever fail, they're fucking morons for thinking that, you know, the champions of their region would be the best team at the tournament or beat Faker's team who barely got here. Fucking hell. Another year of some LPL team being rated a tad bit over TES. So now all of TES, Shanks is just carrying the burden of TES, a team he doesn't play for and has nothing to do with and has none of the teammates from. I'm not going to be surprised if BLG performs better than AL in this tournament. AL just beat BLG in 2 best-of-5s. You haven't even given a reason why, by the way. Your reason why is Shanks equals Creme, therefore BLG will be better. Have you been watching BLG? You haven't given a reason. Are you get ready? Mate, your support was from the LKK that was mid-table, top 4 to 5 at best during his time there, years ago. Like for real, like 3 or 4 years ago that you're talking about this time period. He can never improve in 3 or 4 years. What are we doing here? Karras is top 4 mid in your league. That's mad debatable, by the way. And even so, what's the diss? You know, Karras, if he went back to the LCK, looks like he could be like the 5th best mid laner. You could argue he played better than Faker this split. Chill the fuck down with the rating. Yeah, just don't ever rate anyone because Creme failed that one time and then TS was sort of a bit whack at Worlds. We won't mention IG, FPX winning, fucking EDG. We won't mention any of these teams. Why would we? Why would we mention BLG themselves? Why would we mention any of these teams? You should just assume they'll all fail. There is so many disrespect toward BLG right now. No reason given as to why. You obviously didn't watch the split. That I hope they win MSI. Right, now we're just hoping shit. And prove everyone wrong. You haven't given a reason why people would be wrong. You just said it's disrespect. And Worlds for LPL6. Right now, let's just have them win MSI. They're not even vaguely a favourite to make the final, by the way. And just give them Worlds too. Another tournament they've never won, by the way. If T1 doesn't do it. Oh, let's just pop T1 in there at the end. T1, another team, by the way, that actually has been like fairly up and down and only really got hot in the LCK, not even playoffs, road to MSI. But yeah, let's just pretend the team losing to fucking Breon in the regular season. Yeah, fuck it, why don't they just win MSI? I mean, everyone's just hating because they're acting like this is this year's roster and judging off this year's results, right? I'm kind of getting the same feeling towards BLG at the moment as I do with T1, getting disrespected coming into the tournament sometimes. This T1 squad isn't the one that won Worlds, you fucking idiot. They've won nothing. Literally nothing. With Thorin, they have won absolutely fucking zero. They haven't even been in the final. But it's disrespect to say that this lineup isn't going to win MSI. Bro, the last time Faker won MSI, it was 2017, you fucking idiot. You were probably like just going into high school at the time. Straight fire. Another cage will pit. 36 points on this shit. Bjergsen over Faker. Mickey X over Carrier. And Nardo Tate will always be legendary analyst goofs, right? Anyone spot the problem there? There's only one person I'm aware of ever said Bjergsen was better than Faker. It was Quickshot, who was never an analyst on the LEC. He was the fucking host and a play-by-play commentator. Sorry? Oh, just pretend he's an analyst. Launder his opinion through the word analyst and pretend that's like what all the analysts in the West said. They never did, of course. And also, definitely not biased. Literally 2 Korean flares. Mickey X over Carrier. Yeah, guess what? Carrier has had splits that were fucking ropey, mate. And in some of those splits, Mickey X did better macro moves than Keria. And quite frankly, I think if you just go and look at like winter 2023, I actually think it's an interesting conversation you could have. Certainly he's playing against weaker opposition, which might make it easier to look better, sure. And then the idea you can never say, nah, isn't a good champion. Okay. And then it turns out it's just LS. It's just LS. So because LS himself said that once, legendary analyst goofs, 36 points. Only one of these had even any validity to it. Another one, someone mailed in. Right, this is going to be about ye old Gumayushi, I think. Let me see here. My boy Guma, 68 points, getting the respect he deserves after 4 years running. Get ready for this, where now you're going to pretend Gumayushi was always unbelievably world-class. I don't care if T1's jinxed because of it. My man shines when the lights are bright. Why didn't he win any MSIs? We're at MSI now. You're implying he's going to do well here, where the lights are bright here. That's the total implication and context of your comment. Why has he never won MSI? Can you explain that to me? Why has he lost to Elk? Bunch of times. Why has Ruler given him the business? Like a proud father. But let's go back. 23 points. He literally had a single tournament where he didn't look like the best ADC, which was MSI 2022. Right, pause. You know when JDG won MSI 2023? Ruler wasn't even the best ADC. It was Gumayushi of T1. Who finished third, by the way. What? You know when, well, pick any tournament they didn't fucking win. Gumayushi was always the best ADC in every international tournament, except MSI 2022. Okay. So let me just get this straight. Does that also mean he was the best in Worlds 2021? Did you forget he played that tournament? Was he also the best in Worlds 2021? Wasn't, Viper. Obvious one I'd throw out there. Wasn't any of those players, no. It was Gumayushi because you say so. Brilliant. T1 Flair, of course. Oh, get ready. And part of it was him having to adjust to the ping since it was a road game, right? The only reason he played badly and wasn't the best ADC at MSI 2022, where, by the way, obviously Gala would have been smurfing, wouldn't he? It's because of the ping. That's the reason why. Because of that single... We're balding shit as all like... By the way, we can just read sentences normally, dickface. We don't need you to bold the parts we're supposed to focus on. Like you're... Hey, come on now. Come on, my eyes are up here. Come on now, everyone. Shh, catch a bubble. Every single tournament, children. Yes, that's right. When I say every, you say single tournament. Yes, single tournament. You're a fucking idiot, mate. Because of that single tournament, he got the reputation as slumping when he's proven time and time and time. No, every time according to you except once. Why are you putting time and time and time? No, every time. That he's the most stable player on T1 by far. By far, or it's not close, is always the giveaway of an utter cretin. It's the telltale of a hollow Grand Canyon mind that one shitty idea just bounces off and is never thought about, expanded upon, contrasted. The principle of it is extracted from and explicated. No, that's just by far most stable player on T1 by far. Do you know who I think the most stable player on T1 by far would be? Probably Keria. Think how fucking sick he's been most splits of most years. But no, it has to be Gumayushi. And are you ready? Most of it's because these people just like his personality. He's kind of a bit swaggy. He seems quite confident. And he's good looking with a great Chad-like jawline. Looks like he mews all the time, doesn't he? So that means he has to be the best at checks notes, the AD carry position in League of Legends. Fucking hell. Jesus fucking Christ. Riot Games is opening up betting in esports, right? First of all, because if you don't know, this fucking subreddit for years virtue signaled that League of Legends and Riot are just better than other games like CS. They would never let the Saudis in. EWC immediately announced. All of a sudden, implication Saudis might join LEC at one point in time. Suddenly, Saudis involved with all other things. Oh, we don't have betting in our game like you guys in CS. Riot Games opens betting, and at some point in time, spoiler, we'll be allowing betting on their games. It probably eventually will get on the broadcast. So get ready for some unhinged Americans who remember think it is literally morally wrong to bet, but it's not morally wrong, for example, for like children to mutilate themselves. Those things are totally congruent statements, by the way, in their minds. So, by the way, for people to just kill kids at a very young age. How about I put it that way? Yeah, I don't give a fuck, mate. That's the truth. You deal with that. So, 316 points. Get ready for some absolute crash outs, as the kids say, where you just say absolute nonsense. So, he's talking about gambling here. It's the next opioid epidemic, right? Well, first of all, no one in America politically gives a fuck about the opioid epidemic. They don't care about how many people died. And I'll tell you the reason why. Just go and look up the demographics of who dies. It's actually the people that the ruling class, you could say, either don't care about, maybe even want dead. Maybe even think that would be a good thing. In fact, you could say, if you're someone who's active morally against this, it might even be the people politically you secretly want dead. So miss me with the idea you really care about opioid epidemic. Then it goes, oh yeah, by the way, here's the reason why you don't care about the opioid epidemic. When people are opioid addicts, any drug can cause them to relapse. So logically, if you really care about the opioid epidemic, which you're saying is happening widespread in your country, has been for the last 20 years, you would not even want alcohol sponsors, because someone just seeing an alcohol sponsor could trigger them to take a drink, and then that could literally open the Pandora's box. They could be right back to opioids the same day. But you don't care about that. Nothing good ever comes from legalizing gambling. I mean, that's such an absurdly dishonest statement. It is fucking mental. You could say, I don't think many good things come from it, or I think the bad outweighs the good. That would be an interesting debate. We could have that debate. But nothing good ever comes from legalizing. Well, first of all, by legalizing it, you can quite literally investigate and arrest people much more easily than if they were like external people doing betting and gambling that you have no legal oversight over or ability to get to register, to say who they are. That's already good, isn't it? That you could already do some of those things. Secondly, by legalizing it and letting people buy licenses and be based in like your country, you also actually encourage them to engage in more ethical and professional behaviors than if instead it's illegal and they go and register in some faraway island or some country where you can't legally chase them, right? But again, that's not good. That's only a bad thing to improve that aspect where you could bet anyway. And then also, nothing ever good comes because every single person ever who bets, it's just a negative on their life. There's no person who bets and doesn't lose the house or just has a little bit of fun for a moment or even bets and wins. Never happens, apparently. What a fucking absurdly dishonest statement. And this has 316 points. Mental. Absolutely mental. So one of the worst things about alcohol and betting, and burgers, is that the people who themselves lost everything, or they know someone who lost everything, they became obese, they lost their house with gambling, they became an alcoholic and beat their family. You act like everyone does it if they take that thing, and as a result, take zero responsibility for yourself. You give humans zero free will, zero personal agency. Literally, you are the moron where we have to ban steak because a baby can't chew it and would choke on it. So an adult can't eat steak now because a baby would chew it and choke on it. Brilliant. Thanks, dickhead. Thanks for your amazing insights, 316 points. Same one, 487. There is literally no upside to the consumers. Pause. There clearly is, isn't there? Now, you could certainly have the debate. By the way, I'm so legit, I do this and I'm sponsored by a gambling company. You can absolutely say there will be negative consequences, extremely negative, to some people who gamble. I tell you what, though, you don't know the numbers. As far as I can tell, they seem a lot lower than people think. It's because it's so extreme when that happens that it shocks you and it makes you think in your brain where you can't hold 100,000 cases. Oh my God, that's happened all the time. No, maybe it's a tiny amount of people that happens to. So there's no upside to the guy. It was my entire childhood. You know, your granddad or your uncle goes to the betting shop, puts £1 on the football game when £1 literally is like 2 cans of Coca-Cola, and he just makes it so that when the team wins, it's more thrilling to see if they win the game. No, he's a degenerate, mentally ill gambler who's going to now lose everything, mortgage his whole house, and then probably end up sucking dick in an alley to get another £5 to put on his next accumulator. Give me a fucking break. You cretin. And get ready, this is going to be really fun. It's abusing mental illness. You know what? I actually agree that I don't think mentally ill people should gamble. I think we should actually say that would even be a great campaign. Forget just like tell everyone not to gamble. How about say, if you have a mental illness or addictive personality, stay away from gambling. That in itself could be, in my analogy before, like the one drink, the one Bud Light that then gets you down the rabbit hole where you're the equivalent of the guy sucking dick in the alley for more black tar heroin in this case, right? It's abusing mental illness to make Riot and other companies money. You don't even need to put the last part in there. It's obvious that they're doing it to make money, you fucking idiot. You put that part in like it's sinister. They're doing it to make money. Oh, I thought they were doing it because fucking Mark Merrill just wanted a crazy accumulator for Worlds where he bets on every game and if he wins, he has like so many billions and trillions, he just buys Tencent. Fucking hell. Oh, wait a second. You remember that guy who's called the Black Australia? You won't even... This is why I'm going to start doing this. You won't even believe what I'm about to show you. Let's look what subs he posts in. That's weird. So, Bikini Bottom Twitter. Okay. Political humour. Okay, keep going. Wall Street Bets. Wall Street Bet, that's... Okay, keep going. Baldur's Gate 3 picks. Wall Street Bets. Leopards Ate My Face. Path of Exile, Not the Onion. Path of Exile. Wall Street Bets. 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 I've had hold calls. Too many shares. Nani? Wait a minute. You not only post on Wall Street Bets. It's a site, by the way, about investing in the stock market. But also... You talk about where you're putting your bets and discuss with other people and sort of how crazy the ups and downs. That's gambling, you fucking imbecile! Holy shit, by your logic. Do people not ever lose everything gambling? Do hedge fund managers not try and get that crazy bonus and in doing so fuck up completely and hang themselves or jump out of a fucking window? Have there ever been like black so-and-so days on the stock market? People lose literally everything. Entire companies that are completely functional, have loads of employees, can lose everything because of some fucked up shit in the news that causes like consumer confidence to go down in the stock and it just tanks. And you have the gall to call out fucking legalised gambling. You're doing it, you fucking imbecile. Holy shit. Holy fucking shit. I don't even know I had that one open. So get ready. This guy talked about how great the MSI format is. It's the best format in esports along with TI. Then a million morons just complain about double Elim basically. So get ready. This guy goes, another year, another MSI tournament format being better than World's Top 8. I agree. To be honest, I love MSI so much because the games are all there, the pace is quick and fucking double elimination, right? This isn't even going to be the worst comment. I'm just going to use this to bang on. 5 points. World's Top 8, perform at your best or you're out. Literally not true. Already you've said a literally, factually untrue statement. Do you have to perform at your best in every series of World's Top 8 to win the tournament? Or to avoid elimination? It doesn't even make sense. Let's say my opponent plays his worst game. Do I now have to play my best to beat him? What if I'm even a massive favourite, by the way? Did Gen G perform at their best against FlyQuest? You fucking dunce. Of course they didn't. It's a fucking absurd premise. You could even argue BLG actually outplayed T1 in the fucking finals. So crazy. So we already just start with nonsense, just shit spilling out of someone's brain. You need to go through 3 most intense series of your life to win it. Clutch factor, not even true. 1, you don't have to be clutch. It's absolutely not the case at all. People have won without ever even getting to a game 4 and game 5. Also, they have to, to win, it has to be the 3 most intense series of your life. Well, that wouldn't even apply to Faker, would it, you idiot, when he's played all those finals? Doesn't even make sense. What you're doing here is you're just picking the best possible case scenario for one format and then get what you get. Guess what, as a stupid person, you're going to do to think you've won a contrast and compare? You're just going to take the worst possible scenario of MSI. So let's watch him do that. MSI, you don't always have to do you best. Yeah, that's the same for Worlds. But let's go back. You don't always have to do you best. You'll always have a second chance. You sometimes get a second chance at Worlds if you don't always do your best but win the game. Or the other team just plays worse. Lost 0-3 to the worst team in the tournament. Not a problem. You can continue playing. Right, at Worlds, the format is only the top 8, right? You can't ever win Worlds but lose a game in the Swiss or the groups. That's never happened before in history, right? Never, right? Never. Oh, it has. It actually has happened before. Well, in that case, the format must not be good enough. It needs to be intense. You have to play your absolute best every game. And you have to fucking be clutch. And you have to perform at your best or you're out. Hit the bricks, mate. You ain't the best. Just a dunce. Unless you won all your series before the finals, of course, then you don't get a second chance. So, okay, that's already made what you said up here not true. You said you don't always have to do your best. You'll always have a second chance. Then you say, unless, of course, you get to the finals, most important match of the tournament, and then you don't get a second chance. But it's still bad. You're not even arguing for a bracket reset. Stomped your opponent 3-0 in upper bracket finals, and then barely lost to them 2-3 in grand finals. Congratulations. You not only lost one series, no double elimination for you, which you should be loving, and you have a 5-3 score versus that team, but they are the champion, not you. Right, get ready. Do you know there was a single elimination tournament this year internationally? It's called First Stand. And a team called CFO, Flying Oyster from Oceania, they actually were able to beat Carmine Corp in the group, Swiss, and then in the playoffs, they lost to them, and wasn't like 3-2 or something? And so basically, if you add it up, CFO won more games against Carmine Corp than Carmine Corp did against them. So logically, it's bullshit that Carmine Corp was second in the tournament, where CFO was 3rd to 4th. It's just fucking nonsense. It's just you're picking like the outlier weakest parts of the format and then comparing it to the absolute best parts of the format you like, and in some cases, just completely using narrative nonsense to lionize the format you like. 22 points. MSI format carried by the fact that upper bracket winner has ended up winning MSI. Right, this is already going to get mental. The format's only okay, and we only accept it because the upper bracket team won every time. They literally, not only like they cannot understand conflict of interest, it's their per capita, but they also, forever in their minds, the concept of a bracket reset exists, even though none of these people even follow fucking double limbs esports. Yeah, 16 points. We got lucky so far, but it should be completely unacceptable that is even a possibility. Right. Do you know everyone out there who's watched TI, the International for Dota 2? All those tournaments, if it was ever won by the lower bracket team, it was... No, sorry. Yeah, if it was ever won by the lower bracket team in the final, it wasn't a valid tournament. None of us accept that as real, and we all just spent forever afterwards going, but there wasn't even a second chance, but there wasn't even double Elim, but it wasn't... But what about the map score? What about that, though? Nobody says that, by the way. Nobody does. Everyone accepts the result. We all just got over it years ago because it's actually about logistics of like how you run the final, and also the fact that fans just won't give as much of a fuck if the final isn't just a straight up match. You know what? Life isn't fair. Are you aware of that? What's key about life being unfair is how to navigate the fact that it's unfair. And sometimes it's unfair for good reason. That's why communism doesn't work. As an idea, it sounds great until you realise it means stuff like someone who works really, really hard can then have to give what they earned to someone who maybe intentionally even says, I'm a dilettante, I choose not to work. Fuck you. Just give me your shit. Lol, I was just jerking off all day. I'm not even actually homeless. Just give me all your shit. There you go. Cheers. And then you realise, wait, that's unfair in theory, but in practice, it's kind of fair. So are there no advantages? You wouldn't believe there are any, by the way, from this. Like, apparently, the upper bracket guy gets 0 advantages. He just loses the tournament life. For nothing. He doesn't like get to avoid additional matches. He doesn't have to avoid sometimes in certain tournaments like LEC playing 2 matches in one day. He doesn't avoid showing more of his draft strategy. It's a fearless draft tournament. It's incredibly powerful to come from the upper bracket and show less. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't avoid playing someone twice. Give me a fucking break. It's nonsense. This is just absolute nonsense. Same thing. I really don't get how so many people despise single elimination brackets. Have you watched all these worlds? They're so unsatisfying. The concept of win now or get eliminated, so the same as the final that you all complain about, yeah? You simultaneously want single elim, but also it's unfair that you have exactly what you want for the final and double elim. It's almost like you're just whiners. On the biggest stage, fires up the intensity and nerves massively, which is ultimately what makes it exciting. Right, so Other tournaments like TI's finals aren't very exciting because of double elim. They don't have great atmosphere, and the players themselves aren't like having legendary matches. You don't know that. You're an idiot from League of Legends, you fucking dunce. Feels like people prefer formats where the best teams can screw up and choke. That can happen in the group stage in all of the formats you're talking about. While still essentially getting a second chance. But they don't get in the final, which you just said's the most important match. You can't even hold a simple principle framing, conceptual framing in mind to make your own point. Literally, it took you something like, what? 3 sentences to completely contradict yourself. Another good one. As usual, someone just points out, like, MSI format so much better than Worlds. I really hope they change Worlds format soon. 23 points. Time is the limiting factor on why Worlds is the way it is. Literally not true. They just this year took away the 1 week break between quarters and semis, for fuck's sake. That is arbitrary. There's no reason you have to have a 1 week break. That 1 week could just be games every day in the lower bracket and upper. You could just do it. It's not even true. Watch what we're going to do here. We're going to literally prove you wrong using your fucking facts. I'll even just do the last Worlds, even though, by the way, there were Worlds before that had even bigger gaps, I think. Right, so this tournament begins on the 25th of September and ends on the 2nd of November. And you choose the format. You don't have to have play-ins. You don't have to have single elimination. You don't have to have 5-round Swiss. So it lasts for over a fucking month. MSI itself, do the math. It lasts something like 15 days. You could never run a format like this because at Worlds, time is the factor. You have more time. You just chose not to use it. And then people are upvoting that. People are upvoting that. How's that not the most downvoted comment in the thread? It's factually wrong. 24 points, T1, of course. People who haven't won MSI since 2017. I still don't understand why they don't just make it a best of 7 with the winner's final team having 1 game up, although now the games being fearless does hinder this a bit. First of all, as pointed out down here somewhere, that means that someone could win Worlds from the upper bracket going 3-3. Well, I've won 3 games, you've won 3, I'm crowned the champion. Yeah, that just feels really unsatisfying. You know, we've done all these things. All these things you are conceptually thinking you're a genius for coming up with, like some Albert Einstein shit. We've done them all. Go and watch tournaments like MLG and StarCraft. We've done all the winners bracket advantage, get a map, you get a ban. You've done them all, mate. We've done them all. It's so unsatisfying we got rid of them. They just don't make for good finals. Also, best of 7. Right, in your world, it's best of 7, but there's only 6 games max. 6 games of League of Legends. Right, remember, an average game of League of Legends is probably 30 minutes, right? You want 3 solid hours of gameplay. And that's if it's 30 minutes. What about when you have a game that goes 49 minutes? Bro, the shit could last 5 hours. Longer even. In a nightmare world, it could just last an hour a game. It could just be 6 hours long. And that's not 6-hour broadcast. That's with the half an hour, 1 hour pre-game show. By the way, whenever you have like a BO5 in Esports, in CS rather, we even give the winners like a dinner break after map 3, game 3. So you'd also have breaks between. Imagine how literally tired they'd be. They'd need food. The people in the crowd, what is it? Am I going to be there 2 hours or am I going to be there 7 hours? That's just totally. How about the logistics of actual reality make this implausible? How many fucking people can't handle this format, bro? These are the most upvoted comments in the thread, 704 points. Someday, get ready to get educated. Someday people will realise that double elimination is a fraudulent format without bracket reset. No, it isn't, because no one said it's double elimination the whole way. It's double elimination before the final, and then the final's single elimination. See what I did there? Crazy. Crazy. By the way, do you know what I didn't even mention before, guys? You know this big Worlds format they're bigging up? You do know that in the Swiss system, you could literally lose 2 best of 3s and then still go through. So you could lose 2 matches and then go through, and then you could win the Worlds. Also, you could lose a best of 3 in the Swiss, 0-2, face that team in the final, same as first stand example, then you could beat them 3-2, and logically, you won 1 in series, they won a best of 3, you won a best of 5, and in games, they've actually won 3 games, and you've won, they've won 4 games, and you've won 3. So shouldn't they be the champion? These people are fucking stupid. They're so stupid. Essentially, their point is, because your format isn't perfect, I'll ignore all the areas my format isn't perfect and just say that makes my format better and the perfect format. Like, what do you do? Like, what do you mean a team can go undefeated until finals only, where the tournament no longer is double elim, only to lose the tournament versus a team they beat earlier in the tournament? That's always been the case. I've just explained how that's even the case right now in Worlds. You can lose to a team in Swiss and then beat them in the finals of Worlds and no one goes, that's not a legitimate win. Doesn't exist. Right, if you ever see Nussnacker, Hooligan, you downvote on site any comment they make. They are shitheads who constantly do bad faith comments just to be snarky about other people or actually just lie about people all the time. They are terminally online on Reddit too. So 87 points, LCK fanboy. Another year of Rookie getting griefed by his team. How sad. Really the most... Right, so cause Rookie in Czech's notes, 2025 on a team where Mako's been shit and some of the other players have had their times where they just disappeared for a series. He was actually the best player on the team this split. Because his team didn't make the final of LPL, that means that he was griefed, and he's implying, by the way, that this is always what it was like and he was never ever griefed. So in 2017, that never happened because it's the exact same Rookie and team components as now. In 2020, that never happened. It was the exact same team and components. It wasn't. In 2021, you get the point. You get the point. Wayward never inted him. You never had problems with Fortic. You never had fucking the Shy int him. You never had any of these things happen. None of them. None of them ever happened because current IG in spring split of 2025, IG wasn't a top 2 team, and then they lost to BLG, and Rookie had some bad games in that one series, and because of that, Rookie was only ever pretending to be griefed by his team. He was just never a good player, and he can't be the most unlucky. By the way, there has to be a most unlucky player of all time. You do understand that, right? Like, do you know who I actually would have said was the most unlucky player of all time before this? I would actually have said it as the AD carry player, Prey, from the Najin teams and then Rocks Tigers and then Longju. Here's why. Because if you ever look at his career, he won one LCK. No, he won a couple actually. He won like an OGN Champions and an LCK. 2 LCK. And basically, he was in teams that were top 2 or 3 going into Worlds over and over and over again. And almost every time ran smack bang into T1 and Faker. Like, he literally could be something mental, like 3-time world champion. Like, it's bonkers the shit he could have won. It's actually crazy. But no, there are no unlucky players. They don't exist. I won't even do the super long. Perkz, the player who, for one point in time, had the most trophies ever in Europe, more than Caps. He had MSI Championship. He was awesome in that one. A Worlds Final. 3 straight World semi-finals appearances, 4 straight Worlds quarterfinals appearances, 1 with an NA team. He got out of the group of death with the NA team. He won an LCS title in NA and the lock-in. That guy, MSI finalist also in Season 7, that guy, when he retires from League of Legends on the League of Legends subreddit, we're not going to make all the top posts about how dope he was as a player. We're going to focus on things, I'm not joking, like what he liked on Twitter, what he pressed the heart on Twitter, supersedes his whole career on r/League of Legends, because these are political lunatics who don't care about you as a human, or the game, or the competitors. They just care about who is who is not a heretic of their cult. The top comment with 3,000 points. This is the most important thing the sub decided could be said about Perkz' career that has just ended. Man, the trajectory of his career took really was depressing. I'd rather remember him for his insane performance. So in this case, maybe he's just talking about him being bad in the last few years. So being unbelievable for, like, domestically from season 6 to season 11... isn't good enough. Having a run internationally from season 7 through to 2021, that's not good enough. Because the latter years of his career were bad, that's just going to be the main thing we're going to bring up. Man, let's just point out how bad the last years were. Now let's go down. Here we go. 534 points. Instead, he ended his career with terrible performance after terrible performance, despite being on high-tier teams. Not really true, but okay. And if it wasn't enough to nuke his reputation, let's just bring it had to come in. It had to come in. His reputation as a player is now going to be affected by his Twitter. His reputation, by the way, reckless, abusing his fucking teammates and coaches for years, playing God with their careers and their fucking mental health. That's not something that will ever affect his reputation as a player or even at all as a person, apparently. Cause autism. But it's not, if it wasn't enough to nuke his reputation as a player, he had to start becoming a weirdo on Twitter, supporting Andrew Tate. How did he support Andrew Tate? Can you explain how he supported him? And retweeting posts that are support. Right, he didn't even make the post. He dared to click retweet on a post. By the way, has anyone on Twitter ever retweeted something to make fun of it? No, you support that thing. Supporting the Russian attack on Ukraine to nuke his reputation as a personality too. Dude completely demolished his own legacy. You can't say I'll miss him. Right, you already say he would be the GOAT, but you won't miss him because of what he did on Twitter. You're the fucking weirdo! You think fucking Twitter is more important than real life? You are a lunatic. 241 points. Remarkable how his skill happened to tank about the same time he fell down the fascism rabbit hole. To a leftist, everything I don't like is fascism. You know, Meloni from Italy, you know, the new Berlusconi or Hitler. Yeah, she's fascist because she's right-wing. That's why she just announced that she's letting in, checks notes, 500,000 immigrants. That's just what a fascist would do. It's just pure fascism. That's just Mussolini all over again. Get ready. And the death of his father. Right, Perkz' father died in 2020. He won that summer split. He went to Worlds. They beat Genji, a Korean team. He was awesome. They made the semis and they lost to maybe the most dominant team of all time at Worlds. Then in 2021, he went and won the lock-in with Cloud9. He won the Spring Championship. He went to Worlds, got them out of the group of death, and they were even looking good in like game 1 against Genji at Worlds, and they made top 8. So we're already rewriting history. Essentially, this guy was careful how he phrased it to get the updates. He's basically sort of being like, he fell down the fascism rabbit hole because his dad died. How fucking dare you, you actual piece of human excrement. You are fucking scum. You would use the death of someone's loved one to try and make some fucked up correlation equals causation shit point that doesn't even factually make sense about his fucking playing career. You're way worse than anyone liking or retweeting anything on Twitter. You are an actual horrible piece of shit. You're barely human, mate. 182 points. Why hasn't he tried blaming immigrants, minorities in Ukraine for his bad performances? By your logic, he should do that! By your logic, he does and would do that. So why didn't he, by your logic? If by your logic, he supports Andrew Tate openly and supports Russia in the war against Ukraine, why would it even be a big deal to make a tweet like that? Why wouldn't he have done it? Because you're just a dickhead now basically making Perkz every conservative right-wing person you don't like, and you're using his retirement post in a post where people talk about his dead father to explain that you might just blame immigrants for being bad at the game. I should solve everything. It doesn't even make sense. It's a non sequitur. Holy fuck, you're so stupid. Oh, by the way, he was pretty close to blaming Ukraine for his... He wasn't at all. Because he said words about Ukraine on Twitter, he was also pretty close to just blaming them for him playing bad at League. By the way, this guy here, my GOAT Perkz would have been greater than Faker himself. Spoiler, pause. Do you want to know something hilarious? Do you want to know what Faker probably thinks privately about things like illegal immigrants coming to his country? Or gay people? Oh, I know you think you know, but you don't. And do you want to know what Faker's done? Oh, you done fucked up now, homie. Pandora's box is open. Faker openly signalled that he really likes MBS, the leader of Saudi Arabia, where they imprison and kill activists and heretics, stone women, and put women activists in prison for asking for things like to drive You write your own jokes on that one. It's a bit dark. And behead people in the months, literally, that you guys watch them have tournaments there. But Faker, that doesn't splash back on Faker at all, openly showing support and interest in MBS. He said that would be his dream dinner. MBS plus 2 other people. I think it was like Son from fucking Spurs or something, and someone else, probably some singer or something. Here's another one. 51 points for this disgusting trash. The alt-right pipeline, as soon as it says something like that, they're a moron who just like reads fucking CNN and Washington Post, that's it. Is basically bad therapy for lonely and depressed men. Right, so if you're lonely and depressed, we have no sympathy for you. Fuck you! How dare you like something I don't like? You're lonely and depressed. You're trash. You're not even a human to us. Oh, we're the compassionate, empathetic people. Just be better, guys. Like, have some fucking empathy, man. I wonder how the timeline matches up with the loss of his dad. Right, Perkz retweeted and liked a post I didn't like, which now means he's evil and alt-right. I wonder if his dad dying's the reason why he's a piece of human shit. These are upvoted comments. The whole sub on a giant thread viewed by tens of thousands of people at least decided these are the comments they agree with and need to be seen first. Here's another good one. My read on character is crazy in esports. If you don't know, I'll tell you a very brief story. You know that piece of shit Chris Badawi, who did all that evil shit in Renegades when Monty was over in Korea doing a different job? I met him for the first time with his CS team, and he was incredibly nice to me. I went home and told Monty, I have a crazy intuitive read that this guy is fucking shady, a liar, and a piece of shit. Watch out for him. And everyone told me, no, he's great when you get to him. I said, no. I said, there's something really unsettling about the way he talks, the way he makes eye contact with you, how he seems to like gaslight you back. I said, watch out. I have a crazy read. So remember what I said up here? Oh, that isn't just commenting. Well, maybe his dad died and that's part of the problem. No. Same guy. This is pure speculation. Why would you speculate about someone's father's death in a thread about their career? But I guess he kind of saw father, right? We're now going to not just speculate, just imagine, just have a fanfic about how actually Perkz took Carlos as his dad. And then that's why he's an evil right-wing Nazi, Russia supporting, fucking Andrew Tate, fascist or something, right? I guess he kind of saw Carlos as a father. What an crazy, inappropriate comment to make about someone whose dad died, by the way. And with his actual father passing, he relied on him and got manipulated alongside him. However, this does not absolve him of vengeance. No, nothing does. Nothing ever would. If you ever click a tweet that they don't like, nothing will ever absolve you. This is, by the way, you might think Christianity's harsh. At least there's the concept of redemption in Christianity. You go to hell to eternally be tormented because you hit a small heart icon on Twitter. However, this does not absolve him of any responsibility. Your dad dying doesn't give you even a tiny break in any of your behaviour, by the way. He was not some minor when he went off the deep end. He was 23. Well, my God, do you want to know how old Reckless was when he was destroying the mental of fucking 113 in the ERLs? I think he was something like 25, mate. But does him being autistic absolve all responsibility? Give me a fucking break. They're all just about this, by the way. I'll never forgive Ocelot for blocking Perkz to Fnatic move. Think how cursed Fnatic has been for years. That team would have been fucking shit with him in it. And banishing him to NA. Literally, Perkz, I talked to Perkz myself behind the scenes, and once he knew Fnatic wasn't the move, he wanted to go to Cloud9. He wanted that move. Spoiler, that second he signed that contract, a European player became a millionaire. He now, with his new family, is set for life if he manages to accomplish his business properly. He can be one of the few people to leave esports very successful and yet never have to worry about having to go and work a normal fucking job or be poor, etc. He has Ocelot set him up for life, but now what a piece of shit, banishing him to NA. By the way, he made it further at that Worlds than everyone except Chex Notes. Fucking G2, you idiot. You idiot. This is a great one. I still don't get it to this day. Just a moron. You know the hilarious thing? When you go down here, most of these comments, the good ones about his career, are jammed between all the shite. But don't worry, there's more. T1 fan, of course. He got his shit pushed in by Perkz plenty times. Long overdue. The prime example of tarnishing your legend. Could have retired after 2022 and not gone on a weird alt-right bro downward spiral. Right, liking a few tweets on Twitter is a weird alt-right downright. Oh, fucking hell. It's also tiresome, innit? By the way, look up the documentary that's from. Might open your eyes a little bit. 118 points. I'm unaware of his alt-right turn for some reason. Maybe you just watched the fucking game. Maybe you're not a lunatic. Someone up top also said he's a Tate lover. Oh, well, you don't need to check that. Just say it and get the points, get the updates, my dude. Was this related to the whole Carlos thing, or is it extra? He had 346. He had public likes showing his support for Russia in addition to the Tate and Red Pill stuff. Birds of a feather. Jesus fucking Christ, imagine supporting Russia. What the fuck? Tate and Manosphere stuff, less surprising to be honest. Sadly, I would think some non-insignificant number of esports individuals are secretly into that stuff, just not publicly. Or, right, the more scary thought now, guys, is after you've created a fucked esports panopticon where we can't even ever just have different opinions, now people might secretly be harbouring thoughts you don't agree with. Are you harbouring thoughts about politics other than mine under your floorboards, Herr Perkz? You fucking lunatic. Isn't he coercion? Wild to take Russia's side. He hasn't taken Russia's side! You imbecile! He retweeted a tweet by your logic. When Balkans are probably the next target after Ukraine. You know nothing about the Balkan region because you didn't say Croatia. If you believe Serbia is on Russia's radar to invade, it's not even connected. If you believe they're going to go through Europe to invade Serbia, they're one of the only countries in the west/central area that fucking supports them, you idiot. There's a famous saying Serbs have. It's something like, with Russia, we are 300 million. Like, they think of themselves as, like, Slavic Russian type people as well. Holy fuck, you're so stupid. Should have put the fries in the bag years ago before... Right. Perkz, a literal millionaire. 9-time champion of Western regions. MSI champion, world's finalist, 3-time semi-finalist, 4-time... He, as a millionaire to this day, he should go and put the fries in the bag, one of the most minimum wage jobs with no skills required you can get in any country, because he did some tweets and retweets on Twitter. Yes, his words on Twitter have to be the worst thing possible. He didn't even put any words on Twitter. He just liked the retweeted by your own logic. Now he did those things. Now he just is Russia. Tell you what, Perkz' invasion of Ukraine with his special military operation has really tarnished how I remember him as a great mid laner and as an AD carry that could skirmish on the map and team fight without peel. I saw another pro recently, 80 points on this. Oh, this dickhead is that guy who does the interviews for Sheep Esports. You know what? Fuck this twat. Maybe he needs a video. Because I'm sick of dickheads like this popping up, themselves only being famous for one thing, then just shitting up the internet with their opinions. I saw another pro recently that went on a crusade to defend himself about following the Tate brothers. Right? It's not a crusade to go, this man follows Twitter accounts. Get him! By the way, some of these people follow me. Why are you not evil if I'm evil then? But no, the crusade isn't you trying to get him for following accounts, just following them. It's him defending himself for following a Twitter account. I mean, they are doing a public service exposing themselves. What does exposing do, Armand Luke? Does it allow you to try and fuck with their reputation, journalist piece of shit? You rabble-rising twat. By the way, your website and you publish nonsense all the fucking time. Just shite that you pulled out your arse. Financial reports where you get it all wrong and don't even reveal the finances. You fucking dunce. You're exposing yourself as a fucking retard. My God, imagine someone Polish having conservative politics. And guess what? They're probably Nazis too. Everyone's a Nazi except those specific battalions in Ukraine, apparently. Weird how that works. This is beyond terrible. This guy has a good point. Nothing can nuke what he did on G2 for me. His lower bracket, his LeBlanc against RNG and his role swap to bot was just insane. 45 points. Yeah, I kind of understand this take. If it came out Chovy supported the North Korean regime, right, Perkz liking a tweet and retweeting a tweet is like Chovy, a country which is in a stalemate with North Korea after a civil war, saying, I support the North Korean regime. That's a totally equivalent, reasonable comparison. Same dickhead. Generally very hard to feel anything for someone so publicly unlikable. You even know his dad died, but that doesn't allow you to even feel an iota. What you're showing here is you are actually scum. To you, because he liked those tweets, you can never like a single thing about him. Now he can, 40 points, now he can fade into irrelevancy with his hateful, alt-right, pro-fascist views. You don't even know his views! Ever since he started talking about Christianity, he became a far-right piece of shit. Yeah, it's Christianity that's the evil one. Not, secular humanism, where you kill babies, you allow rape to just be widespread in society. Let's think of a million other things you do. You crush people for the sake of the GDP going up. You open borders to just allow literally the worst people in the world to come and live next door to your grandma and wait until she's going shopping one night and no one's around to say, yeah, it's still no, it's him actually being Christian. That's why he's evil. In a thread about him retiring from League of Legends. And then it's all just shite here. It's all just shite here. It's all just about Tate. It's all about Tate and being hateful. This is what Reddit is. It's all just about Tate. Just a piece of garbage loser. Fascist glazing asshole. Says hooligan who has supported Reginald his whole career and lied repeatedly on the internet about me. Always downvote on site. I'm always rep my set, and the people who've got my back are the following people who support my videos. Matt Pugnatio Rajcula, Jasun, Jensen Goh, Tosh, Thorin, and the all-time ride or die, Jerky's minion, isn't it? Special thanks to him. Do you want to suggest a topic or a guest for my content? Want to find out who the upcoming interview subjects are? Do you want to take part in one of those long discussions with me where you set the topics? Maybe you want to ask me a question for my video AMA? Well, all of those perks and more are available where? At the Patreon link in the description box below. So put your money where your mouth is and join the Scruminati today. You dig?